Hello, friends. This is your host, Matt, on another week of Mr. Robot. And with me, my co-host, John. How's it going, sir?
What's up?
All right, what is up is episode 4 of season 4 of Mr. Robot, the last season. This episode is titled Not Found, titled after the 404 error. So we're going to speak to every week.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm down. You want to talk about?
You haven't watched the episode yet?
Nah.
I came over, you said you had just finished watching it.
I watched it with you.
Okay. So let's get started, John. Not Found. This episode opens and takes place over Christmas Eve night.
Right. That confused me for a second.
Why?
Whenever I hear Christmas Eve, I always think Eve is night already.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm weird that way, but I'm just saying, like
Like you never consider Christmas Eve day.
yeah, like in the morning when people's like, "Oh, it's Christmas Eve." I go, "I thought that it's like tonight." No, I'm being serious.
yeah,
like
yeah,
psychologically, I'm just like,
yeah, it's Christmas Eve day. Yeah. Yeah. I guess everybody's waiting for Santa Claus, so everybody gets ready at night.
yeah.
And a lot of these characters seem to be getting ready for Santa Claus, John, or somebody coming, right? We
Yeah.
open up where we left off at the end of last week, where Elliot and Tyrell are being spied on by a dark army operative. They
Right.
go down and kick some ass, John. Tyrell, with his ninja skills, knocks out the dark army operative. Looks like he may have killed him. And him and Elliot take off with his body in the van and all the evidence.
Yeah, it was this show's graphic.
It is.
It's mostly language, but
As a big potty mouth, right?
Yeah.
It seems like Sam Ismail's gotten free reign on the F word.
yeah, they say the
Drop.
F word a lot.
A lot of F bombs. A lot.
By the F word, I mean fuck.
A lot of graphic language, both in terms of violence and sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What'd you think?
it's pretty good. We get
All right, next week, guys.
we get Darlene. Sort of felt abandoned. I think it's pretty much the metaphor for this episode. We get another character, Darlene. Elliot sort of ditches her for a while, and she feels abandoned. Right? It's Christmas Eve. Last time she talked
he's
to
been
Elliot.
ignoring her.
Yeah. So
But now he's in a situation where he couldn't call her if he wanted to.
yeah. And Darlene's gonna go looking for him. So she steals a car. She steals Santa's car, John.
Yeah, she did steal Santa's car.
So she takes a little bit of a road trip with drunk Santa,
Mhm.
drunk Percocet carrying Santa,
Right.
and Darlene. They go on a little bit of a wacky road trip.
Yeah. So he's a little bit of a downer.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. And then we catch last week we didn't really see any of her, but we get a reappearance of Agent Dom.
Yes.
She is home alone on Christmas Eve on a chat room, lonely, trying to connect with any human being.
Basically, everyone's having like a really shitty Christmas.
Really shitty Christmas Eve, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not the best Christmas Eve. So let's talk a little bit about each character's sort of dark path down this unfortunate Christmas Eve night of 2015.
It was called Not Found, right? That was the episode?
Not found, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Let's get down to that weird forest trek of Elliot, Mr. Robot, and Tyrell. Did it remind you of another show?
That part? Oh,
Yeah.
Sopranos?
Yeah, Sopranos. Like
The one where they're looking for that guy that escaped?
one of the most famous TV episodes in television history, the Pine Barrens episode, where Christopher and Paulie from The Sopranos, that great show.
Fantastic show.
they lose very similar to this, and you can say there's a little bit of a homage to that episode. They too lose somebody who they thought was dead. This in their case is a Russian hitman,
That's just lazy.
and they go on a trek in the woods. Although they do it during the day, and this episode takes place at night. But essentially, it's two characters, even though you see three, but it's really two characters going through the woods, trying to find
Wait,
this.
dude, I have a question.
Go ahead.
It's a theory, though. I don't know. It's a little bit out there.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to mention earlier. Like, is Christian Slater, is he also Mr. Robot?
What do you mean?
Like, are they the same guy? Like, Rami Malek's character and Christian Slater's character. Are they the same guy?
I think so. Why?
No, I was thinking about it earlier. And that might be it. But I'm still waiting. I need to see more.
Yeah. that made me really clear with that, right?
No, they haven't established it at all.
So the the two of them
I'm not that stupid.
the two of them are going through the forest, and
Is it the woods or the forest?
what do you think? What do you think the proper word is? Woods or forest?
I call it tree land.
Tree land. so the two guys are going through tree land. Elliot, Tyrell, and Mr. Robot in Elliot's head, Christian Slater.
Right.
And they're hashing out their feelings, John.
That's pretty much what this whole episode's about.
Yeah, it was something interesting. Tyrell tells Elliot that you sort of get a sense of what he thinks of Elliot, and maybe some of the envy. He at one point he says, "You always wear that same hoodie, and it seems like you don't care. You don't care about anybody."
Yeah, he has a weird, and we talked about it before. I don't know about since we started doing this, but he loves Elliot. It's like a weird thing.
It seems like he envies Elliot's lack of, I don't want to say lack, or
that he has all that talent and he's not using it.
Well, he has a lot of time, and also Elliot doesn't seem to care about what Tyrell feels like he has to care about. Like all the other things that don't seem probably aren't important in life, he seems he needs to worry about just for his status.
Right.
And Elliot doesn't have to worry about those. There's envy there.
Right. I guess it seems like you're better than me, you're smarter than me, and you're just like, but they're not the same.
Yeah, it seems like Elliot doesn't get caught up in the same hang-ups that normal people do. And Elliot does sort of fight back in that he says, I do care, and I this stuff like this, it does bother me to be an outsider, but I guess I hide it better than everybody. At one point Elliot tells him that it's not so much that this is something that he chooses to be and he's happy about it. It's just that is what life has put him in. He's an outsider, and he has to just trudge along. He doesn't show the pain that he goes through every day of being an outsider, but doesn't mean it's not there. But I guess for Tyrell, he thinks that Elliot's lucky. He gets to live this life of not caring.
Right.
But
when he says he's like,
but we don't know what anybody really is really feeling inside if they don't tell you, right? So if Elliot's hiding this,
I guess that's the most you ever get out of Elliot so far.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
far
it seems
as
like yeah.
About how he feels about anything.
Yeah. Yeah. and then you go on the the flip side of, you look at somebody like Dom who, she's trying to get any human connection, and she feels almost just as disconnected from the real world as Elliot, and she's just trying to find any human connection. But
the dirty chat rooms.
dirty chat rooms. But it's interesting. At some during a certain point in the episode with for Dom, she imagines meeting this anonymous person from this chat room, and ends up being, she thinks she's been talking to a man this whole time, and ends up being a woman. And then she comes over, and it's being a dark army operative.
You say she was dreaming.
And then she was dreaming.
Yeah, you said imaginary, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like she can't trust anybody.
Well,
it's like she's afraid to trust anybody.
She's afraid to trust anybody. She's under constant surveillance of the Dark Army. So that's her dreams manifesting her fears of nobody online, nobody in the world she's gonna be able to trust. She feels like. So,
Yeah.
um,
And they really are in this situation because he was bugged and Tyrell said some stuff.
yeah,
That's how the episode starts. It really picks up right after last week, right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's no time in between at
There's
all.
there's no time in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think one of the more revealing moments in the episode has to do with Darlene, and when she starts talking to the drunk Santa during her planes, trains, and automobiles moments.
It's funny. I paused it and I paused it because you're like, oh, nice. And with the song, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It took me a second.
For fans of planes, trains, and automobiles, the great Steve Martin, John Candy vehicle from 1980, 86, 87.
Yeah,
sounds
right.
Has a little bit of a music cue from that movie, and she reveals her fears to the Santa. Right?
I did want to mention that we also do a planes, trains, and automobiles podcast
every Thanksgiving.
Actually, we do it about every 2-3 weeks.
For people who are obsessed to watch that movie every month.
Right.
No, but Darlene does pour her heart out to this stranger, right? It seems like sometimes with strangers you're able to reveal more stuff that you can never do to people who are important in your life. And Darlene feels alone. She feels like she's lost everybody, and the only person that she loves, that she still has in her life, is Elliot, and she's afraid that she's even gonna lose him.
It's because he's a stranger and he's drunk and vulnerable, whatever you want.
Yeah,
or she thinks he's like she can connect to him maybe.
Mm-hmm.
See, like I just post everything on Facebook. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's why I got a temporary ban right now
from Facebook.
Yeah,
it takes a lot to be banned from Facebook.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
But yeah, Darlene, expresses everything to drunk Santa. This drunk Santa who has to drink, John, because
don't we all?
He has to drink because it seems like he dresses up as Santa every Christmas and he goes visits these sick kids at this cancer ward, and it's too much pain for him, and this is the only way he can get through it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
Christmas
a fun
Eve.
gig.
No. I think maybe I misheard it, or maybe I'm misremembering, but at one point he says this is the last year he's doing it.
Right. You just said he can't take it anymore.
Just can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
But of course, Darlene interprets that as he's going to kill himself. But like I was saying during the episode, it is weird how people can project what's on their minds based on what drunken people tell them. It is funny. Like, he was just saying, well, I'm just talking. Like, I'm just drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is funny how he did have an explanation for everything.
Everything, yeah. It seems like he was suicidal. I was like, no. It's just I think you're projecting what what you're thinking onto me.
So do you think when she heard that, like, it kind of took something away from it for her?
No, I think when she heard that, she realized it wasn't obviously what she was thinking he was talking about. It was really what she was thinking about. It's just she was projecting that onto him. So at any word he said, she reflected it through the lens of her mind. So she realized, hey, I do have these things on my mind. Maybe I need to talk about it with this, drunk Santa Claus in his front yard.
Make it clear, she didn't sleep with him, right?
No, she didn't sleep with Santa.
Okay.
So we get
Darlene's been a little bit promiscuous lately.
So we go through that journey of with Darlene, and then we end the episode where Elliot and Tyra are looking for the van. Obviously, the van took off. They're trying to get to the next nearby city. Even though once they get there, more than likely they're gonna die because if that operative was able to leak out that recording of Tyrell telling Elliot what he told them last episode, at the end of the last episode, they're both dead.
Right.
But then they find the van, and
who kills him?
Who kills who?
Well, we could talk. Yeah, who kills?
Tyrell gets shot by the guy.
Yeah.
And then the guy shoots himself, right? So it looks like.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
He shot himself?
Yeah.
Because he knew he was going to die?
Yeah, he knew he was going to die.
Okay, because it happened really fast.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
You get the sense when he first shot those first two shots, like one of them hit Tyrell.
Yeah. I figured, the way they set it up, I'm like, okay. Yeah. It's gonna be Tyrell.
And then he shoots himself just
just
because they never go back to him. So
Yeah, okay.
You just hear one.
Because at first I'm like, what
final
happened to
gunshot.
dude in the van? But I was
Nice
like,
shots,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so he's done.
Now, you know what's interesting throughout the episode? You hear the weird noise coming from the woods, and that was a weird death, right? Tyrell's. He goes towards. It's like a blue light that's emitting this. Sounds like a moaning, whining, like howl.
Like, is there actually something physically there that he's
I don't know. It
he's
could be
looking
on
at?
his mind, or it could be something there. That's interesting way to end the episode. So,
yeah, it is. But
and it's
a
haunting way to kill Tyrell, right? It's a haunting.
Yeah, I guess we can agree. Tyrell's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
Unless this show goes in a weird direction.
No, you know what? I think his death and Angela's death are pretty final.
Okay.
You know, I don't think there's gonna be any type of
Yeah.
you know, they're gonna come back to life, zombie, you know, ending to the show.
Zombie Tyrell.
Yeah. So it's a fitting haunting end for a weird haunting character.
Right.
Right. So
right.
I don't know. It interesting way to end the episode.
Yeah, it was one of those episodes. There's not. I mean, you watch it, you get it. It's good.
Yeah.
But as far as plot goes,
there's not a lot of plot. Yeah.
like
and you know what? This whole season may be a little bit like that.
Yeah. It's what are we? How many? 12 episodes.
It looks. I think there's 12. This is the fourth episode.
There's gonna be 12.
I believe so.
Okay.
I can go double check after record, but I think it's 12. But
I can double check so that nobody knows, by myself.
or I don't know where to check right now. And it's not that important right now. But yeah, it's an interesting, interesting episode. Interesting, like I think we said it last week with last week's episode. Last week felt like a transition episode. I don't know if this one felt like a transition episode because obviously something happened. A major character was killed off. But in terms of consequences, yes, nothing. You know what? There was something of consequence that happened. They stopped that operative from releasing that recording. It would have been a pretty damned recording if the Dark Army got it. Them knowing that for finale's purposes, for them to really know that hey, Tyrell and Elliot were working together. They would kill Elliot. They would kill both of them.
Right.
So for them to be able to stop.
Even right now, they want to kill Elliot, right?
Well, yes and no. I think they don't have enough to really say, hey, that guy should die.
But what you think they need him, right, for something?
I don't know.
Because I'm saying if they wanted to, it seems like they tried in the first episode.
No, that wasn't them.
That wasn't the.
That was Price.
Price saved them.
No, Price killed them and brought them back. It's the same. It's the same guys. He said, "You're lucky I found you."
No, he said.
You're lucky. He said, "You're lucky I was the one who was looking over at that apartment." If the Dark Army knew that Elliot was sniffing around the fake person, what do they call it, the honeypot?
I thought he just like overruled.
No,
it
was Price. It was Price. Price the one who
Price had him killed. Price brought him back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's trying to show him, hey, you need to be careful. Like if this was the Dark Army, it wasn't me. You would have been dead.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because then they probably would have killed Price for bringing him back already.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Okay.
They know Elliot's alive.
Yeah. Okay.
At least that's like they know everything. So why wouldn't they know that he's alive?
Yeah. I mean,
because obviously they have an operative following him. So
I think what it is they want to see. If they kill him, he can't lead them to other people that they need to close the loop, maybe, or they need him for something else. I don't know.
Oh, they need him for anything. They're not gonna kill him unless he gives them reason to. This would have been a reason for them to.
They're pretty mean.
This is a reason for them to kill them if they realize he's plotting against them with Tyrell.
I don't think it's an ethics thing.
No. I'm not saying it's an ethics thing.
Why wouldn't you kill the guy that's, I'm just saying that might even possibly be a threat when you can get away with it unless you need him.
No.
I'm saying that's what I was thinking.
I think they should respect him. They have no reason. If he doesn't give him a reason to kill him. Everything he's done has been according to plan. Everything Ellie's done is according to what they want him to do.
Right.
Even reversing the 5-9 hack, it was according to plan.
Right.
So he's hasn't done anything that they don't need him to do. So right now there's no reason to everything already to kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Pretty dark episode.
it is
I think every
Both.
episode's a pretty dark episode.
both in tone and in lighting. It was very dark. You could
I
really see what was going on.
noticed.
Yeah.
I noticed.
Yeah.
The woods.
Very
or
dark.
Tree land at night.
Treeland's very dark at night, right?
Not,
Yeah. Well, great episode. How many jalapenos out of 5 would you give it, John?
Every episode's different though.
Yeah, I know.
This was This was kind of like that weird Sopranos episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's it called? The Sopranos one?
Pine Barrens.
Pine Barrens.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is weird.
You get the sense this one's gonna be one of those that you can rewatch later on by itself.
Yeah, you don't
Because you don't need to
you
know
don't
too
need-
much of the outside
Nah,
plot.
you don't have to, you really don't have to know much at all. It's
Yeah.
There's bad guys. We're trying to get
And all the
rid of-
motivations self-contained in the episode.
And then just in general, it's called 4 not found, right? So
Yeah.
it's just like it's just everybody's by themselves, whether or not they even though Elliot is with what's his name Tyrell,
yeah.
they're still by themselves.
Yeah.
They still feel alone. That's
Yeah, yeah.
That's the whole point of the episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not the you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I mean that's what it was going for, and it did it very well,
yeah.
and it always does every week.
And we'll have to wait until next week for next week's episode. Very exciting. I can't wait for this season to continue. Last final season of Mr. Robot. John, we ran out of time.
That's cool.
We gotta say goodbye for another week to
All
our
right.
audience of Mr. Robot fans.
See you guys
Next
later.
week's episode looks
Keep on
intense.
roboting.
Yes.
You want to just end like that
Yeah,
everything?
keep on roboting. Okay. So with that, keep on roboting. Bye bye.